Hi. So, when deciding what was outrageous and upsetting to me, I decided that the main issue, the issue that's going to be the main issue for everybody in this country for the next, I would say, 2 decades, is the fact that promises have been made to people who are retiring or have retired or are about to retire, and there is absolutely no way in hell that those promises can be kept. I guess one could say that the promise could be kept if I promise to pay you an infinite amount of money and I make that money worthless. I can fulfill the promise, and that is going to be the only way that this government is ever going to satisfy the promises they've made to all the pensioners for monthly stipends, for covering their medical expenses. When you look around the country, pension plans aren't really offered by private corporations anymore, but they are still offered in the private sector, public sector. And when you look at the status of these pension plans that are designed to accommodate the retirements of teachers, firefighters, policemen, government workers of all types, you realize that there is no way possible that these people are going to be able to retire and have the funds that they expect support them in the manner that they believe they deserve. The stock market has gone up, 4 times in the last 10 years. And even with that dramatic improvement in the value of all of these pension plans' stock portfolios, they are still wildly, wildly underfunded. And the fault for that is very simple. It's the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has killed savers. And while they have refinanced the banks, and keep in mind the Federal Reserve is owned by the banks, so really what do we expect them to do? But while they have refinanced the banks by reducing the bank's costs of funds to literally zero, not our cost of funds though. I mean, credit cards are still 15 to 25%, but banks borrow money at zero now. The side effect, and the effect that nobody seems to have considered, is that the ultimate savers are the pension plans. These are the entities that have to save over decades in order to pay off the retirees who expect the funds to have grown. And I will tell you that one of the big outrages is the fact that pension plans around the country are still projecting 7.5% returns. And these are what they consider to be essentially riskless returns. They may earn more on their real estate investments and they may earn less on other investments. But 10 years ago, I would point out that you could earn 5% basically risk-free in a 10-year bond, let's say, or a 7-year bond. Today, you can earn 2. Well, there's something called the rule of 72, which says that if you divide an interest rate by divide 72 by an interest rate, or divide a term by 72, you can get the interest rate. For example, if you earn 10% a year, your money will double in 7.2 years, 72 divided by 10. If you invest for 10 years and you want your money to double, you'd have to earn 7.2%. So it's a very simple rule of thumb. But what you can look at is say that if a pension plan assumes they're going to earn 7.2%, then over a decade, they're assuming that the amount of money will double. That's what the rule of 72 implies. 7.2% for 10 years, money doubles. Well, what happens when the Federal Reserve causes interest rates to be 0% for 10 years? Now you have half of the money that you were projecting to have. Pension plans are still projecting 7.5% returns. Retirees are still expecting to get paid. Taxpayers cannot bail out the system. How much more money can we possibly borrow? I'll point you to Chicago, for example, where Rahm Emanuel, the mayor, and Clinton, I don't even know what a polite term to use would be, Clinton associate, has decided to rescue the Illinois pension plan by borrowing an additional $10 billion. So the bailing out, the fact that the fund is insolvent, is being solved by borrowing another $10 billion. Only in America does that kind of math work. And the sad point and the outrage is that the least able among us, those who are elderly, and those who are reliant upon government help, are going to find that not only is the government unable to help, but the taxpayer is unable to bail out the government. And the outrage of today is that this inevitable catastrophe is being ignored by everybody in responsible positions. Good luck to you.